inspired millions of creators around the world. Many of them are sitting in this very room, by the way. And one, Nuseir, is going to be interviewing him right now. Ladies and gentlemen, go crazy, get up off your seats, it is Casey Neistat!
Jordan, I was listening to your talk backstage, and I feel like if you give me like 5% of your speaking fee every time you mention my name, I should just retire forever. But I appreciate it.
So, before coming on stage, Casey gave me a warning. He said, if you ask me a shallow question, I'm going to give you a one-word answer, and I'm going to get off stage.
Just gonna stand up and walk out.
Okay, so not even a one-word answer. So, for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to try to ask you as many difficult and sensitive questions as possible, because you said there are no boundaries.
That's right. I mean, unless you ask a really stupid, like if you ask me like, Casey, what does creativity mean to you? I'm going to stand up, walk out, get on a plane, fly home.
Okay, so for the first 10 minutes, I want to focus on you as a person.
No pressure.
Perfect. This is more pressure. I'm going to focus on you as a person, and the next 10 minutes, I'm going to focus on you as a creator.
Okay.
And the last 10 minutes, I'm going to make it Q&A. Okay, guys?
Yeah. Okay.
So,
I'm ready.
Casey, first of all, who the hell are you? Like, how would you describe yourself on who are you?
Well, I mean, that changes so much, but like right now in 2022, I think more so now than ever in my whole life, I'm just like a 40-year-old married guy with 2 babies at home. That's my life is right now. I mean, not right now I'm here with you guys, but like, that is what 90% of my focus is right now.
So that question made some people happy, that answer. But that answer made a lot of people sad.
I'm sure.
Because a lot of people are trying to understand, why the hell did you stop? Why did you stop?
Well, there's a lot of, that's a big, good question. So far your question is.
Yes!
There was a couple of things. One, it was like, I was just exhausted. Like, Jordan talked about it, but I was every day and so focused on what I was doing, and it's like, I think the term's called hyper-focus. Is that really? Let's make that up.
Probably.
Where like you just get so enveloped in one thing that's your only, and it becomes you become entirely myopic, and that's all you can see. And I think with my YouTube vlog, and especially as I think the big picture, I was like worked in the traditional film world for a dozen years, and then like when I got into YouTube, it was the most satisfying thing ever. Like I could just express myself and click one button and then ignore it, and it would share with the world, and if people loved it, great, and if they hated it, I didn't have to deal with them. I didn't do nothing. It was just a wonderful thing. But after 5 years of that, or 4 years of that, I was just beat, and everything suffered, and I wanted to just stop that and focus on something else entirely.
And what is that something else?
Wife and those babies. I don't think people, why would people know this, but like, my life right now is the most obscenely indulgent thing ever. I like live in my house, I wake up at 6:30 with the kids. I'm totally serious. I have make pancakes. I had like an apron that was like a buff man in a Speedo, and I would wear it every day until my wife threw it away. She's like, we don't need that apron in our house. I got Mr. Mom. I make the pancakes, get my daughter's lunch ready, sit in the breakfast with my kids, and then I play with them all day. Wow. That's my life.
I cannot relate to this.
It's fantastic.
I cannot relate to this. Do you think you'll do this forever, for the rest of your life?
No, they're all getting big. Kids go to school now. I don't know what to do when they go to school. Honestly, it's the most, these guys want to talk about creators not being a dad, but it's the most indulgent reward ever. And I made a movie about this before I left New York City, but I had my son Owen when I was dirt poor and really struggling, and I didn't get to focus. And I always said, if ever another opportunity. And then I realized when I was in New York City, and I was 37, and I had these 2 babies, I was like, you know what, I think if I stop working forever, I'll probably be really broke, but I'm in a place where I can pump the brakes majorly and just do nothing but focus on these kids. Like, what does that feel like? And it was really special. And how long does that last for? The answer is like not very long, because no, I mean it. Like when they go from being 6 months old to being 4 years old in school, like it really feels like that moment is already starting to fade away, and I'm already looking to sort of something more productive with my life, because that just is unsustainable.
Okay, so there will be a comeback. That's good to know. I've always wondered this, Casey. You know, by the way, do you know that Nas Daily started because of you?
I think you told me that. It's a big honor.
I'll tell you this
I'm
again.
a huge Nas Daily fan.
Me too. I saw this guy. He had a wife. I was single back then. He had a kid. I had no kids. And he was making daily content of 20 minutes and above, and he captured the hearts of New York. He captured the heart of the world, and I looked at you and I said, if this guy can do it every day, then I can do it every day. Did you know that? I don't think anybody knows that. So thank you for doing it every day. Now my question to you is,
Okay, ready.
why do you think people like you? Like, there's a lot of things that are unlikable about you. Wearing glasses? I think it was in the sun. Why are you wearing glasses?
You know,
Why is their personality market fit?
I think there's a bunch of really funny questions, but since we don't have a lot of time, I'll try to do a serious one. I think it's the nature of those daily videos. I'm not that likable in person. I don't have any friends. People don't like yelling at people around me. Don't get near me, whatever you do. But those videos, like, I had a very specific mission, even though like they would change and some were really great and some were so. And that mission was just sort of like, pluck one thing from my life today and tell that thing really, really well. And I think that by doing that, it felt like I was living an extraordinary life. And as fascinating and lucky of a guy as I am, I think my life is pretty normal. But I was just able to share that life in a way that felt extraordinary, that maybe was extraordinary. I would take something really mundane and then like a 5-minute video about like my shower head. Like these videos, the subject matter was not earth-shattering. And I think to focus on things like that just felt so relatable in a world where like a lot of things really feel alienating. And I know for me, like the content that I relate to the most is stuff that I feel like I have some sort of relationship with. So I think that's why it wasn't just the videos, but there was a real relationship between me, the person, and the audience. I mean, I don't know.
Interesting.
You know, Mr. Beast is a good friend of mine, and I talked to him so much about making YouTube videos, and he's so focused on the math and the metrics and the algorithms and all of that, and I never, ever look at any of that. I never have. Monetization wasn't even clicked on until I crossed 100 million views, which don't ever do that if you're really stupid. But I never look at that. I don't want to understand why people like the videos. Like, that's when for me, they stop being an expression of creativity and they start to be something more transactional. And then I'm optimizing my creativity from dollars, like I feel like I'm losing something. And that's not to take away from people like Mr. Beast, who's built an empire on doing just that. But for me, it was about something else, and I think the reason why there was such a strong relationship with the audience is because of that something else.
Yes, people love your art, but you tried to become a businessman at some point in your life. You tried to build a tech company, Beam. You sold it to CNN for $25 million. You built another company, 368. You tried to become a businessman, right, and put the dollar first. How did that happen? How did that go?
I mean, I don't think that's right. I think that the irony is, like, I started making my vlog because I was already building a business, and I thought it'd be an interesting thing for me to, I thought it'd be good subject matter. Like, the business is what yielded the videos, not the other way around, in that case. So it wasn't about, like I always said, I make money to make movies, I don't make movies to make money. And that was true then. It's definitely true now.
Wow. You make money to make movies, you don't make movies to make money.
Yeah. I used to wash dishes to make money. I was a bike messenger, so I could take that money and make videos. Like, I would do anything so I'd have enough money to be able to make a video.
Did you want to build like a large organization, like a large company, tech company, media company?
No, I hate employees. It's my least favorite. Managing people is my least favorite thing in the world. Least favorite thing. I'm terrible at it. Today, you guys know the great legend filmmaker Dan Mace. So Dan has his somebody who works for him, he's a super talented young man, with him today, and we were like, Dan and I went surfing today, so Dan asked Liam, who works for Dan, if he could film some shots of us surfing. This is garbage footage that we're using for nothing, just for fun. There's zero consequence, and it doesn't matter. I think I yelled at Liam today 45 times because he wasn't holding the tripod correctly. I'm not good at managing people. In fact, me and my tech startup, the reason why we were so successful is because on day one, I had a business partner whose superpower in this world is management. Matt Hackett is a virtuoso when it comes to communication, interpersonal skills, all of those things, which meant I didn't have to do that.
Wow.
And that's how I was able to build businesses. Paul, who still operates 368 successfully, you know Paul,
yes.
Tremendous guy when it comes to operations like that. I hate operations like that.
So, you know, when we made a video together 4 years ago.
Yep.
By the way, thank you for saying yes to me.
I was a fan then.
What?
I was a fan.
Thank you, man. That's such an honor. That's an honor. A lot of people ask me, is Casey nice? And I honestly couldn't answer that question.
No.
Because look, I'm gonna bring you a video. In the video, I'm gonna just do the iPad real quick. I'm just gonna like an example, okay? This is a video we made together. Is that audio on?
No.
You got me a camera?
The shot isn't even level. You guys do your thing.
What is supposed to be level?
Got level! Look at that!
Level. You guys do your thing.
Look at how you treated me when I was kind of like your employee for one day. Okay?
Be Casey, and I could never be Nas. It's infuriating. The shot isn't even level. You guys do your thing.
What is supposed to be level?
It's not level! Look at the background! It's not level, it's skewed! Look at this line, it's yellow, not green!
It's like very tiny. It's a tiny thing. That was level.
This story is not about
It's difficult to work with you.
You know, there's a truth in that. And that's that when someone, the greatest insult you can bestow on someone, like if someone were to ever ask me, like, what's that guy Nas like? And my response was, he's nice. There is no greater, that means you have nothing interesting to say about that. I would never say that about you guys. I care about you
What would you
way
say?
too much to ever say you're nice. I'd be like, Nas, this guy's fucking fascinating. He's like building businesses left and right. Somehow he created these videos that are not like skateboarding around New York City, but like these global videos about these amazing things that are happening around the world. And via like sharing those stories, you created empathy for things that would otherwise go undiscovered. Like I have a lot to say about
Okay, brother, today's about you. Today's about you. Thank you. I
the
appreciate
word
it.
nice would not be in the top 100.
And I wouldn't say you're nice. I would say you're a machine.
Great. Not as nice as the thing you think.
And that's really interesting because a lot of people look at the content that when you make, when I make, the one everybody makes. And it's nice content, like you're nice to everybody that passes you by New York. But honestly, when you're at a restaurant and you're having a great time in a nice romantic environment, the kitchen is a hellhole. It's like it takes stress and unniceness to create a beautiful product. And people don't understand that.
You know, I have a rule in life, which is never hire someone. This is just a total non sequitur. Never hire an employee or get into a relationship with someone who has not worked in a restaurant. Because if you haven't worked in a restaurant, you don't know how life is. My wife was a waitress, she was a bartender, she was a manager. I've washed dishes, I was a cook, I was a bouncer, I've been a busboy. I know how
I'm going to shift and talk to you as a creator.
Okay.
Okay? What the hell is going on in the world? You made a lot of videos that are 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Back then we had time for you. But now the world is going to 1 minute, 30 seconds, TikTok. Where do you stand on this?
You know, somebody really smart, a filmmaker magazine I did an interview with, and that's like a really formal, magazine that covers the most formal version of filmmaking. And I think that my response to them was that there are just all these new venues to express yourself. So, no, I think it's a really low blow to poo-poo, to speak ill of TikTok. I don't think TikTok is competing with filmmaking. When I started making YouTube videos, I got the same hard time from traditional filmmakers. Because YouTube wasn't filmmaking, YouTube was something else. And I think that's maybe that's true, there are all these different outlets, but as long as they all start from a place of creative expression, how they manifest and where they're shared, I don't think matters. And that's how I feel about TikTok. It's great.
So you have no problem with like this stuff. You have no problem with it.
That's not my favorite. But excuse me, there's tremendous talent on TikTok. There are brilliant creators on that platform, and there's gonna be terrible content everywhere. You can spend $15 and watch a terrible movie in a movie theater. You can click play on YouTube and watch a terrible 5-minute movie. You can definitely watch a terrible 40-second video on TikTok. But there are just more places for creativity to exist now. It doesn't mean that the amount of quality stuff is ever going to increase.
Right. So when you started, the place for creativity on the internet was you.
It is literally a YouTube vlog, but YouTube vlogging didn't exist then. YouTube then was just like a place for basketball highlight reels. It wasn't a place, it was never a destination for real consumption. And we put this show that was great. We put it on HBO. Stellar reviews. Nobody watched it. Nobody watched it. Our audience, my audience, was not on HBO. And then I put that same exact content on YouTube. And tremendous audience. So I really think it's like, it doesn't really matter where you are, it's about where you can connect to your audience. And I think that dovetails nicely with your previous question. I think for a lot of people, their audience is on TikTok. And I think for a lot of people, their audience still exists on YouTube. I think for a lot of other people, that are into long form, their audience now can exist on all these streamers. So again, I think like the top of the funnel just keeps getting bigger. It invites more and more people in. But one truth that's not changing is the bottom of the funnel of what's great is not getting any bigger.
That's a great answer.
I don't mean that to
I know. You didn't give me a direct answer, but I like it. I agree.
Yeah.
So you would start on YouTube again, then I would assume.
I think so. Until something better comes along for longer format content, I think YouTube is the place for someone like me.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Crypto. Fan or no?
Yeah, huge. I just never talk about it, and I especially never speak about it on social media because I think it's nuanced and complicated, and everything that I've seen every influencer do, whether they do it virtuously or in a way that's total manipulation and nonsense, all of it looks bad. So no, I don't speak about it publicly.
Why should content creators care about crypto or NFTs or this whole Web3 technology?
I just think it's the nature of the future, and why should they care about it? They shouldn't. If like you're starting out as a creator, you should absolutely not be thinking about that. It is not relevant yet. That is what's next. If you're an entrepreneur, well, there's a lot of opportunity there. If you want to break into a new space, there's a lot of opportunity there. But if you're a creator and creativity is what matters to you, I think like it's not essential to focus on what's next. It's essential to figure out what the best avenue is for you to distribute your content today.
You know, I want to try to involve the audience a little bit because I don't think you realize, I'll tell you why I don't like the fact that you're now a father and a husband.
Whoa, easy there, Nas. Where are you going with this one?
Sometimes I feel like that the influence you had on planet Earth is so large that you may not even comprehend it yourself, right? Because of your videos, many other content creators were created, right? I'm one of them, but I'm going to take a guess. Who here started content creation because of Casey?
Wow.
That's insane!
In that car.
And then this guy called Avi. Where's Avi and Neo? You started, you're in India. How many followers do you have? How many followers do you have now?
We have around 6.2 million followers.
And you have probably billions of views. You have had billions. Can someone give him a mic?
How many views?
Views, we cross around 2 to 3 million views on each platform. That's Instagram as well as Facebook as well.
Total views.
Yeah, come on, give us the number.
10 million to a video combined.
Combined, give us the big fat number.
We have crossed 500 million views.
So you started because of Casey, right?
I started because of Casey. And I was in a really bad state of mind when I started watching a video. I watched a video that you made, that do what you can't, and I commented on your video, and I never thought that I would be here reading that comment to you.
I'm sorry if I just try and read all the comments, but it always makes me incredibly depressed, so I don't get all the way through.
Yeah, I followed the advice that do what you can't, and that's what made everybody over here come over here, because we did what you can't, and that's what you said. So this is what I wrote. Dear Casey, as a fan, as a creator, as a family man, I want to say thank you to you. Because some years ago, you said something that made me leave everything, and I owe you in a way. Do what you can't, you said, because you are venturing into a world with no rules, no boundaries, and no gatekeepers. We are the creators, we are the makers of our content and our future. So I left my job, which didn't make me happy, and struggled for years. And those years were honestly crappy. But somewhere I felt I can have a day with all the traffic lights turning green when I'm in a hurry, as you said in a video. But I have to say this, thank you, Casey. You showed me and millions of others that having a voice is possible, because please don't stop making content, whether it's in form of videos, documentaries, movies, or just scribbles on a notepad. I don't care, because I feel a connection with whatever you have to share. So thank you, Casey, because what you do matters.
Wow, it's always nice to hear. Thank you. Congratulations. Funny, man.
So my question to you is, right? I don't want to put this up, because I'm honestly just thinking about this, right? Sometimes, the people, my wonderful girlfriend, for example, right? She, you know her, you gave her some nice classes. She understood, she also had these conversations. Sometimes the people closest to you have to pay a price in order for the world to benefit. Right? So you have 50 million people that we can benefit, but that may come at the cost of 5 people.
Yeah.
How do you think about that?
I think it's probably bullshit. I mean that, and I think that that's great, and it's romantic, and it's a really cool thing to say. But it really sucks for the people nearest to you, and I think as I get older, I realize the people nearest to you matter more to me than those 50 million strangers. And maybe that makes me the bad person. But I don't know, find your own fucking inspiration. I've got a 3-year-old, and I'm all she's got. I'm all that she has. I'm her dad. So she's the priority. So Casey, why aren't you spending more time with your kid? Because the world needs me to be inspired. I think that's wrong.
Wow, that's amazing. I wanted disagreement on screen, but I got it. And that's one valid way, and as I said, there's many valid ways to sort of live life.
And there's a balance. I don't need to be extreme. I think look, my dad worked 60 hours a week when I was a kid. And we'd wait up at night for him to come home. So he owned his own business, and he'd always come home after it was dark, and we'd wait up to see him, and that must have been so difficult for him. And I don't think his jobs, selling used restaurant supplies, was trying to change the world, but he struggled with that balance. And I think we all struggle with that balance, our own priorities versus our careers. And I think, where is the priority? And how I interpret your question is do you prioritize the impact of your career and use that as justification to sacrifice those nearest to you? And I just reject that. I reject it wholly. I'm guilty of it.
But you've done it for years. For
years. I mean, Candace being like, why can't you just not vlog on the weekend? And I'm like, I have to! And I think I was wrong. And I don't look back and say I regret it. But when I really stop and empathize with her, and I think empathy is the solution to all the world's problems, I really empathize with her, I think she was right. I think she was totally right. say now because I have like money and success, and that little baby's asleep, and his dad's carrying him out, and that's just the piece. I'm sorry for swearing.
Okay, so I'm going to stop here because I think I got what I want out of you. Thank you for being so honest and transparent. I want to leave it up to the audience.